Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman here, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype here on your Monday, December 16th, 2024. Let's go and take a look at what we're tracking here for today as we're enjoying a brief warm-up for a big portion of the country. We'll see temperatures running above normal for this time of year, but it will be short-lived as we're going to be seeing a weekend Arctic shock come down. In fact, maybe a couple little series. We've got some coming on Thursday, and then really that real cold stuff coming down here, especially the eastern half of the United States as we head into this upcoming weekend. And then we'll also take a look and see what areas potentially could see a little white Christmas, specifically looking at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to see where we might see a little snow falling across parts of the country. Obviously, this upcoming weekend is also a very busy travel weekend. We'll talk about that in greater detail as well. Now, to all the new subscribers here on the channel, first I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining us here on the Weather Nerds channel. And if you're that 62% out there who check out this product and not yet decided to subscribe, go ahead. What you waiting for? Please go hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll learn on future content. And as always, please help us out. Leave a comment, give a thumbs up down below. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Remember, this product is for you guys, and we want to go ahead and make sure we reach the biggest audience possible. So please help us out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our morning satellite imagery here. We got some rain here across areas of the Northeast, kind of exiting New York City. Got some rumbles of thunder, believe it or not, here just south of the St. Louis area. And we're still getting that moisture flow out here in California. But for you folks out on the West Coast, don't worry, we got a break coming your way. We'll show you that in greater detail here on the forecast in a second. So we're continuing that stream of moisture coming in. We're going to see ridging taking place here. So this moisture is going to shift further and further up as we go for the next couple of days. And I'll show you that on the high resolution model here in a second. Now, let's looking at our watches and warnings. We got a lot of gray on this map. That's a lot of fog. It indicates to me that temperatures are moderating a little bit. We got colder air at the surface. It's warmer aloft, and you get these fog areas to form up. Obviously, we got some winter weather out here in the Northwest, a little breezy here across portions of Dakotas, and even some winter weather advisories across portions of the Northeast as well to begin your Monday. All right, let's go to the surface map here. We're saying goodbye to that last of that Arctic air. I see a 1 degree temperature up there, 0, 7. It's moving on out of here. So looks like temperature is definitely moderating across a big portion of the country. You see morning lows down here in the 60s. You know, I mean, for it's December, obviously. That is definitely well above where it's supposed to be for this time of year. And it looks like the bulk of the country is going to see that before that next Arctic air comes down, which is going to be hitting this portion of the country as we look at later into the work week. Now, let's go talk about some of these thunderstorms down here. We actually had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here this morning just south of St. Louis, down near the Fredericktown area. And this will continue to move off toward the east. Showers, thunderstorms, maybe a rumble of thunder, not out of the question in this zone, but I'm not expecting anything as far as widespread severe weather for today. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest from the Storms Prediction Center. We'll go ahead and take a look and see what they're showing here for their day one outlook here. And as you can see, again, just a general thunderstorm threat that's expected here, stretching from, you can see portions of Indiana, Kentucky, stretching back toward Texas, and across portions of the Southeast, Mississippi, Alabama, getting into Tennessee, and even a little bit out here on the West Coast as well. Could see a rumble of thunder or two. How about the next several days? How's that looking? So let's go ahead and take a look at the day two outlook as we go ahead and pull that up real quick for you. And again, no organized severe weather here, but we are going to be seeing that generally here across the southeast and portions of the south central portion of the United States, even getting in here across South Florida, also getting into the act here as we head into your Tuesday with a chance of a few thunderstorms there. And as far as the day three, let's check out day three. Again, kind of holding in that same area. Again, that little system that's pushing to the east, it's going to kind of get hung up here. So we're going to continue that generally from Kentucky back toward Texas. And again, continuing it there and across Florida as we head into your Wednesday. Now, the good news for you folks out on the West Coast have been dealing with a heavy rain threat. Right now, we're not expecting any kind of organized areas of excessive rainfall. It means flooding potential. And right now, over the next 3 days, it's going to get quiet, especially as that river of moisture is going to begin to move up toward the north. And as far as our hazard outlook is concerned, a lot of this is just kind of short term right now. Again, we got those wind advisories there across the Dakotas. And again, this heavy precipitation really is for today, as this will be kind of moving up toward the north. And we'll see things begin to kind of clear on out of here as far as the hazards. This hazards update will be updated later today. We'll take a look and see how it compares as we go into tomorrow. So it's time to take a look at your short-term model run. We're talking about the next 40 hours or so. So we're looking at the high-resolution model here, the 3-kilometer level. So we're going to be watching several systems. Obviously, we got a little rain here in the Northeast. We got this rain, a few thunderstorms here. We got the precipitation out here on the West Coast. So this is moving off. This is moving into the New England area. and this will be shifting up toward the north. So watch that timestamp there in the upper right-hand corner as I go ahead and take you through this here, as we'll see this kind of move on off. And again, we'll watch the rain there moving on. We got a little snows there across the Minnesota and into Wisconsin. I don't want to forget about you folks up there, that little low that's kind of riding along the Canadian border there. Seeing the snows kind of breaking out there across Idaho as well. Getting some decent snows up there in the higher elevations, but definitely seeing that precipitation finally cutting off after Northern California, moving up into Oregon as we go into your Tuesday. That'll move to the north, and then we'll see again the rain kind of increasing here across Florida. Seeing a little bit of moisture here coming in with a few rumbles of thunder there. A little snow there across portions of Iowa and into areas of Minnesota going late in the day on your Tuesday, as well as out here into the Intermountain region, Washington State, Idaho, Montana. Seeing that. But like I said, the good news is at least California is going to get a little bit of a break there from the rains that continues to move off toward the north as we take this Tuesday night into Wednesday look. So as we go into Tuesday night, just a little snow across portions of Iowa and into portions of Wisconsin. It looks like a little few showers here, a little wet up there in the Pacific Northwest into Seattle as we go Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So we're talking about the 17th going into the 18th. Now let's talk about the jet stream. Boy, this thing's going to be a real headache. I can tell you that right now. The long-range models have been misbehaving very badly. We have anything about I'd say 5 days has not been very accurate here. Constantly changing, constantly wavering. And part of this is because the jet streams are all over the place. They're not working in tandem. They're not what we call phased together. So when they're kind of bumping into each other, it really kind of makes things kind of tough. Now what we're seeing here on the short term here for a few days is we got this kind of a westerly flow, Pacific flow. We've got this is your polar jet up here. Your subtropical is way down here to the south. So we got these jet streams that are not working together in tandem. We do have this initial push down coming down. This is our initial little trough coming in here, going into Wednesday and Thursday. So this will cool things off just a little bit here across the east. And then there'll be another pool that'll come back down around here as we head toward the end of the week, going into the weekend. So watch this as we go on through. Here's that little piece of energy dropping down, going into heading into this upcoming Friday. So we've got this nice little cool shot coming down here across the eastern third of the United States. This trough has been kind of shifting its position too, back and forth a little bit as well from previous runs. So this moves on out. We got another little push coming in for the weekend going into the 21st. So it'll be kind of chilly 21st into the 22nd across the eastern third. Should be relatively mild here across the southwest and back toward Texas for the most part. And then as we go into Christmas week, obviously we got a lot of folks traveling this weekend. One thing I'm not seeing here with the jet streams, I'm not seeing a real organized big trough, not big storm that'll cause some problems. Here's a little weak system here coming into, this is the 23rd. This may bring a little snow across portions of, say, northern Illinois, going into parts of Wisconsin, Michigan, maybe going into Christmas Eve for you snow lovers out there. Wanted to point that out. And we'll show you that here in a second. That pushes off toward the east. Then going into Christmas Day, again, it becomes a very convoluted flow here with these little weak little systems. Like we got a ridge of high pressure here in the southeast going to the 27th. So it looks like a lot of the country going to the last week of 2024 will see unusually warm weather because the cold air, it's all the way up here. It's just locked up here into northern Canada, not coming down with this kind of flow like this. It's just not going to allow any of that cold air to come down. So it looks like we're going to get a bit of a break after this next little Arctic front moves on through. And that pattern continues. I mean, this is a pretty good trough, but again, this is a trough that is, again, more of a Pacific air mass. We're only tapping a little bit of the cold air up here as we go toward the 31st. This goes to the 30th into the 31st as far as the long range projection is concerned. So shifting over here to the European precipitation outlook, is we're going to start from Tuesday night and continue on here as we just looked at, obviously just looked at the first couple of days there. As we'll be tracking a little snow here across portions of Iowa, a little rain here across the south, obviously looking unsettled here across New England as we're going into your Wednesday. So let's go ahead and watch this again as we go, as this moves on off. Looks like a little bit of a trough, a little bit of cold front here coming in across portions of New England here with some cold air and some snows coming into the northwest. Got a little snows up here riding along the Canadian border as well. A little rain down here into the southeast as we go into throughout the day, late in the day on your Wednesday, going into Wednesday night. This system will quickly move on off, and then we got another little snow here coming on across the Great Lakes. This will be going into your Thursday night and into your Friday with some snows there as we go through this upcoming week, toward the end of the week there. Then we'll see this cold air kind of settling it across the eastern third of the United States as we go into this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. So by the time we get ready to go into late in the day on Saturday, notice this freezing line. This is our 540 line driving way far down to the south as we got some pretty chilly air coming here across the Great Lakes. Probably a little lake effect snow going on there. And it looks like we got another system coming in here on the West Coast as well as we go into this upcoming Saturday that you'll have to deal with there. So again, I can back this up just a little bit. You can see that's just coming in on the West Coast here throughout the day on Saturday, and the cold air in the east as we go into your Sunday. Now that cold air is not going to stick around. Looks like it's going to moderate some as this pulls on out. We're going to be watching some energy coming out of the Rockies and into the plains as we go into the 23rd. Here it is right here. So we'll be tracking some of this. This will be in the form of some snow going into Christmas Eve. All right, that's our Christmas Eve snow that'll kind of track right across portions of Illinois, Wisconsin, going into areas of Michigan, going into Christmas Eve. So this is Christmas Eve morning, maybe snowing in there portions of Ohio and Indiana. So it looks like it's borderline with how much cold air we got there, but that snow will push off toward the east, going into Ohio, going into Pennsylvania, going into New York as we go into Christmas night. So you get some snows there going into the Northeast, going into Christmas Day. The other place where you're going to be seeing some snow falling into Christmas Eve is going to be out here in the west in the Intermountain region. We're talking about some higher elevation snows here across areas of California into areas of Oregon and into Idaho as we go into Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. So you get a little snow there in those two locations. So those are your white Christmas locations coming across the Great Lakes, going into the Northeast a little bit, and across the Intermountain West. A big bulk of the country, though, is not going to see anything. I mean, it is very, very mild here in the middle of the country. And it looks like the trend is that we're going to probably see going into the last week of 2024 to be pretty mild for most of the country. All the cold air as we go into the 27th is way to the north. I mean, this is way far to the north there. So it looks like we're going to see mild conditions for the last week. We got a little system coming here going into the following weekend of the 27th and 28th. Obviously, that got folks that'll be coming home that weekend after spending the week away from the holidays. Pretty good storm system out here on the West Coast as well, anticipated going into the 28th as well. But overall, that's about it. As this moves on off, we're definitely seeing a warm pattern. And then we'll watch this big trough. Remember I showed you that big trough there at the end there a little bit. This will bring in some rain and some snows here going into that Monday. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder here across the southeast. And we're seeing a little bit of active weather out there in the Pacific Northwest as well as we get ready to wrap up 2024. Hard to believe we are almost there. So let's talk about the precipitation chances. Let's go ahead and break this down. Look at the next 10-day total here. That's what I like to keep it to about 10 days on this. So as you can see, the rains there across the south of that system, it's just kind of meander there. Obviously, we got some heavy rains out there in the West Coast as well for this week, for the next 72 hours. And then as we can see, some more rain coming going into this upcoming Saturday and Sunday out on the West Coast. And then we'll take this all the way out to 240. So we'll go stop it right about there. So it looks like a big part of this part of the country dry. Heavy rains across Northern California and into areas of the Pacific Northwest. But for the most part, precipitation here over the next 6 to 10 days, running a bit below average for this time of year for a big portion of the country. We really see a little more progressive pattern with these storm systems and seeing better precipitation chances than what we're currently seeing in the current pattern. Let's go ahead and look at the snow totals here. Again, I remember I told you we got a couple of snow areas we're going to watch here as we head toward Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm going to show you that to you here real closely. Again, we're getting snows out in the Intermountain West. We get a little bit of relatively light stuff here for this week coming across the Great Lakes. So this is that cold shot coming in across here that's causing the snow into this zone as we go into this upcoming weekend. So as we go and take this on out, we'll go bring this into the 23rd. So this is the morning of the 23rd, and I'll take you from the 23rd to the 25th. You're going to be basically watching this zone in here, and of course we'll be adding some totals out there to the Intermountain region as well. So again, this is still a little bit far out, but we're getting close enough. So there's that snowfall in there on the 23rd, going to the 24th. Coming across areas of the Midwest, Michigan, northern Ohio, going into the Northeast. So we got a little bit of snow falling in that area. Not a lot of it, mind you, but it's there. So we got a little snow falling there, and we definitely have some snow falling out there in California, Nevada, and across the Intermountain region going right into Christmas Day. So those are our white Christmas potential zones right now. And this is, if you look traditionally, this is where you'd be looking, obviously the Northeast and across the Great Lakes and across the Intermountain region. But a big part of the country, sorry folks, not seeing any surprise white Christmases for you for this year. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the temperatures, because this is really a big part of the story. We got it kind of mild, obviously, for this week. I mean, it's going to be pretty mild here from Monday and Tuesday across a lot of areas. Heck, a lot of areas in the deep south, giving you an example, Georgia will see 70s, which is really unusual. But we are going to see some cold air coming down as we head toward Wednesday and Thursday. Here comes that initial push down coming down. You see that going into Thursday morning here with some of this cooled air. And we'll see this kind of move in across the eastern third of the United States for this upcoming weekend. So going into the 20th, 21st, your last big shopping weekend, it's going to be chilly here in the east. This is going into Saturday morning here. We see below normal temperatures here. We're seeing above normal temperatures out in the west. And this will be temporary. This is going to be another one of those hit and runs. It'll stay in through the weekend, going into Sunday, and then going into Monday, kind of holding it across the northeast. So it's kind of chilly here going into Monday across the eastern third of the United States. But big time warm up taking place for a big part of the country. And it looks like that'll be the trend going in as we get ready to wrap up 2024. Looks like a lot of the country going into that last week looking at very unseasonably mild temperatures. Look at that by the 28th. Wow, I mean, look at that. Just the whole country kind of baking with above normal temperatures. Now, that usually tells me we're going to pay the price sometime down the line going into January. But right now, that last weekend of 2024 looking awfully warm. It looks like it kind of stays that way as we head toward the 30th of December. So let's go ahead and take a look at the latest here from the Climate Prediction Center here. Let's see what they're saying here. Again, you see that cold shot, that initial cold shot that's coming in here from the 21st to the 25th. So this is across the eastern portion of the United States, warm out here in the west. But watch what happens here as we take us out toward the end of the year, basically from coast to coast. It is a very, very mild, above normal temperatures. Areas that should be subarctic freezing, we'll see, maybe 20s and 30s for, really not that cold by December standards, to say the least. Precipitation-wise, like I said, big part of the country here, at least the 21st to the 25th will stay on the dry side. Again, the limited snow chances there across the Great Lakes. Definitely staying active out here in the Pacific Northwest, going from the 21st to the 25th. Then it starts to change a little bit, a little more seasonable flow, dry there in the northeast, still seeing above normal precipitation here across the northwest. But again, it looks like we're going to see most of the country seeing a mild, warm temperature for that last week of the year. So maybe we get into New Year's Day and New Year's Eve and not have to deal with any Arctic outbreaks. That's how it's currently looking here across the country. So wish I had better news for you folks that were hoping maybe seeing maybe a white Christmas or something out there. Right now, not looking all that likely to see at this moment right now, but it definitely looks like we're trending warmer for a big portion of the country outside of that one cold shot that we're expecting coming in for this upcoming weekend here right now, according to the latest European models. All right, that's your update for now. And hey, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, this is your time. This is your chance. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted about future content. And as always, please support the channel by leaving a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate you guys checking out and getting your weather information here on the Weather Nerds channel. That's your update for now. You guys take it easy. Be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.